This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Island Basern. But before that, this video is brought to you by Jeff Scott and Jayhawk226. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Island Basern map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for PC players only. This is a 4X map, and as such, in addition, it has a lot of custom scripts. This will be a PC only map. Now this map is loaded to bear. There are a massive amounts of custom production. There are multi-fruits on here. So we have additional crops. We have additional animals. And if you play this map in multiplayer, there are 5 pre-established farms with 5 sets of starting equipment. Let's go ahead and just get on with the description because this is going to be a long video. Welcome to the island of Basern. The landscape is modeled on an existing region. The terrain is partially mountainous and partially flat and slopes steadily from north to south. The name of the map is purely fictional and located somewhere in Germany. So we've established this is a European-based map. This is a 4X map. There are a total of 62 fields, ranging in size from 1/2 hectare to 75 hectares. There are 5 prepared farms available in multiplayer, and 1 prepared farm in single player. If you load this map up in single player in Farm Manager, you'll find that none of the farms are pre-built. There are no farmlands. There are no buildings placed. There is no starting machinery on any of the 5 possible starting areas in single player in Farm Manager. But if you load this up in multiplayer in Farm Manager, there are 5 pre-established farms completely built with buildings, with starting machinery, and all 5 of those farms are already configured in the farms menu. In fact, let's go ahead and cut to a little bit I just recorded earlier, going over that very point. We load this map up in a multiplayer, either a dedicated server or a local hosted multiplayer. We have 5 farms pre-established on the map. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All of these farms are $2.5 million starting balance. We also have farms 6, 7, and 8, which are unclaimed and have $6 million to start. The 5 farms that we do have pre-built, though, they also have starting machinery. So the first farm is going to be located right here. It's going to be farmland ID 62. In addition, we have then the second farm, which is going to be in the northwest, farm ID 63. Then we have the third farm, farm ID 64. The 4th farm is farm ID 65. And then the 5th farm is farm ID 66. Now, when you join these farms, you're going to find that we do have starting machinery. In fact, all the farms have the same starting machinery. And here we are on the first farm. But when you join the farm, you'll notice that we do not actually own the land. So you will need to actually purchase the land when you do join those farms. So there we have the first farm. And now we have the second farm, which is located up here. And so forth. What I did find is I did have the ability, once I purchased the land, to sell everything that is on the farms. So all the farms in multiplayer are completely customizable, assuming you purchase the land when you join the farm. There are also 59 pre-installed productions. According to the description, all productions with a few exceptions require electrical energy to operate. Numerous energy suppliers are available for this purpose. All productions have been fully adapted to the revamp script, the production revamp script. This mod is absolutely required. In addition, there are new fruits in rye, spelt, white cabbage, red cabbage, onions, carrots, and poppy seeds. All existing fruits can be further processed. In addition, we have custom animals in goats, ducks, calves, lambs, chicks, and ducklings. 32 points of sale, 82 buyable places. One forest area is located at the sawmill. Other forest areas are distributed around the map. All standard productions as well as products on the map can be sold. Large stables with extended capacities. Water extraction point is located at the greenhouses. Adjusted growing time, so this map has a custom crop schedule. We have custom trailers and harvest vehicles available in the map. 2 train routes that you can drive by yourself. Open spaces for your own development in single player, as I mentioned earlier. And then in multiplayer, there are 5 pre-built out farms. This map does not include collectibles. Now, this description also says the signals on the western train route should be taken seriously. All right, people. Fine, I'll take those very, very seriously. Now, this map does have one required mod, as we said, in the production revamp mod. So you will need to make sure you have that activated, as well as the map itself. Now, in addition to those 2 things, we do have our typical mods activated in additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. And as we've already mentioned, if we load this map up in farm manager mode in single player, none of the 5 possible player areas are going to be built out with any sort of buildings, nor will you have any starting machinery, nor will you own any land. What we are taking a look at now is single player in new farmer mode. Now, as you can see, it takes a fairly long time for this map to load up in its starting condition. That is because there is a whole heap load of things that it needs to load on in here. We load it here at the train station. We have a nice image of the PDA, and our starting farm in single player is right there. Then we have northwest, northeast, south, and then southwest down there. But we already saw that portion earlier. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. As you can see from all the hotspots, this is going to be a very, very active map. As I said, we have 57 productions in the single player and 67 productions in multiplayer pre-built out on this map. We do have all our standard crops available to us in FS22. And then we also have spelt, onion, carrot, white cabbage, red cabbage, rye, and poppy. Taking a look at our lands area in new farmer mode, we start out by owning farmland ID 62, which is the main starting farm, $225,000 to buy that, as well as farmland ID 32, 33, 34, and 35. That is fields 32, 33, 34, and 35, respectively. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the buyable farmlands, how large those farmlands, if those farmlands include any field or fields which are included, and then how much that farmland is going to cost us. We're then going to be able to cross-reference the farmlands with the specific fields once we go ahead and take a look at our field calculator screen, and then we'll be able to understand specifically how big each given field is. So for example, field 32 is 14.1 hectares in size, 33 is 11.21, field 34 is 7.02, and field 35 is 7.13. As the description said, the largest field is going to be around 75 hectares in size, whereas the smallest field is going to be right around 0.5. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how the precision farming soil map looks against all of these fields. This map is making use of the generic soil map, and our starting fields are going to be a combination of loamy sand, sandy loam, and loam. Now, in order to expose all of these soil maps, I did have to buy all of the farmlands and buy the individual soil map drillings individually, but we are able to get all of those pulled up. Let's go ahead and take a look at our crop counter. We do have what appears to be the standard crop counter for our standard crops. But as we move down to our custom crops in spelt, onion, carrot, white cabbage, red cabbage, rye, and poppy, we do have some custom growth schedules there. And if we take a look at our prices screen, we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game crops to various sell points. We also have the ability to sell our animal outputs in eggs, wool, and milk, as well as silage, hay, straw, and grass. With respect to production items, we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game productions as well. We also have our ability to buy bulk lime as well as sell our stones. And then we move down through all of the platinum expansion items, and we do indeed have the ability to sell our platinum expansion items on this particular map. And also we have sell points for separated manure. And then we move down into our custom crops and production items. So we have poppy, rye, spelt, carrot, onion, red cabbage, white cabbage. Then we have our production items in empty pallets, compost, baked poppy, tomato juice, strawberry juice, carrot, and onion juice. We have buns, poppy seed buns, popcorn, oatmeal, potato pancake, salt, cream, strawberry ice cream, chocolate ice cream, French fries, mashed potatoes, potato chips. We have a pomace, we have vinegar, tomato salad, green salad, and potato salad, strawberry cream cake, pralines, soy drink, oat drink, wheat semolia. We have pasta, spaghetti, cardboard, vitamins, sodium chloride, carp, pike, and salmon, fish feed, fish flour, soy flour, pizza, carrot salad, coleslaw, chicken feed, and goat milk and goat cheese. All of those have multiple sell points. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we do start out with a decent listing of starting equipment. And in fact, this is the exact same starting equipment that you would see in multiplayer if you played this either on a dedicated server or in a local multiplayer session. All 5 pre-established farms are going to have the exact same starting equipment. All of it is new and none of it is leased. We have 5 animal areas at the start: a big goat barn, pigsty, sheep barn, cow barn with feeding robot, and chicken coop. We do have contracts available, but I did have to go and buy all of the farmlands. That's why we're not seeing any contracts listed here. And as far as production owned at the start, we have energy storage. Remember, we have production revamp here, so our productions are going to operate completely different than we are expecting with respect to the base game. Now, I did do a mod video on production revamp back a long time ago when it first came out. It has gone through multiple revisions since, but I would suggest go ahead and go check out that video. I'll put a little tick up there in the upper right corner right there. You can go ahead and check that, and then come back here and finish this video, because the production is going to make a whole lot more sense after you watch that video. In addition, this map does not have any collectibles, as the description said. Now, before we get on with the rest of the video, I'm going to jump back to that production screen, because I want to take a look and walk through with you all 57 productions that are available here in single player. Now that we've owned all of the productions that are built into the map, we have a bakery. And the bakery is going to be able to produce bread, buns, poppy seed buns, and cakes. And as I said, the recipes with production revamp is completely different than the base game. But for most of these productions, we're going to require electrical charge. How you get the electrical charge is you're going to need to put down electrical generation plants like solar plants or wind turbines and things like that. So we've got electric charge, flour, salt, empty pallets, baked poppies, sugar, honey, milk, eggs, butter, and strawberries. And all of those are going to be used in some combination in order to produce those four outputs. We have a biogas plant that is going to basically produce electrical charge, methane, and digestate out of silage, slurry, manure, or sugar beet. In fact, we have 2 of those BGAs. Our carpeting plant is going to be able to produce furniture and wood chips with the addition of electrical charge, wood, planks, empty pallets, and cardboard. Our cereal factory is going to require energy, honey, raisins, oatmeal, oats, corns, empty pallets, and cardboard, all for the sake of making cereal. Cheese factory, electric charge, milk, pallets, salt, and goat milk is going to either make butter, cheese, or goat cheese. We have a clothing factory that's going to require electrical charge, fabric, empty pallets, and cardboard. We have our compost factory, which is going to require electrical charge, and then this is going to be kind of in any of the following: wheat, barley, oat, canola, sorghum, grapes, olives, sunflower, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beet cut, sugar cane, chaff, silage, grass, hay, straw, raisins, lettuce, tomatoes, strawberries, rye, white cabbage, spelt, pommes, carrots, red cabbage, poppy, and onions in order to make compost. Our confectionery is going to be taking electric charge, flour, sugar, honey, milk, eggs, butter, strawberries, salt, empty pallets, cardboard, cream, chocolate, and it's going to be making cakes, strawberry cream cakes, or pralines out of that. Our dairy is going to be making butter, cream, soy drink, or oat drink, and it's going to require energy, milk, pallets, cardboard, salt, soybeans, sugar, and oats. Then we have deli salad production. We're going to make either tomato salad, green salad, potato salad, coleslaw, or carrot salad with energy, tomatoes, onions, salt, sunflower oil, empty pallets, cardboard, lettuce, vinegar, sugar, potatoes, white cabbage, red cabbage, and carrots. We have the energy storage that we had at the start. Then we have our feed production. We're going to make total mixed rations, pig feed, or chicken feed. So our total mixed rations is going to be energy, straw, and silage, and then either grass or hay, and that's going to get us silage or total mixed rations. Pig food is going to be energy and a combination of either potatoes, sugar beet cut, sugar beet, carrots, white lettuce, white cabbage, red cabbage, or pommes, and either sorghum or corn, and either oats, wheat, or barley, and either canola, sunflowers, and soybeans for our pig food. Then we have our chicken food recipe there. We have multiple fermenters placed on the map. They're going to be able to take energy, grass, chaff, straw, and silage additive and make silage. Our fertilizer factory is going to be taking electric charge, manure, pommes, compost, digestate, slurry, wheat, barley, oat, rye, spelt, sorghum, solid fertilizer, salt, and vinegar. And it's going to be making solid fertilizer, seed, herbicide, or liquid fertilizer. Fish farming. We're going to take electricity and shock them fish. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to take electric charge, fish feed, fish flour, and empty pallets. We're going to get carp, pike, and salmon from there. We're going to need fish food, and we're going to make that in our fish food factory with electric charge, corn, soybeans, soy flour, carp, pike, and salmon. They're just eating themselves, dang it. And we're going to fish food and fish flour. Frizzy Spiz factory. We're going to be taking electric charge, tomatoes, empty pallets, strawberries, grapes, cardboard, onion, and carrots. And we're going to be making tomato juice, pommes, vitamins, strawberry juice, grape juice, onion juice, and carrot juice. Our flour mill, which is going to be making flour, wheat semola, soy flour, and baked potatoes. No, baked poppies. I wouldn't mind a factory that makes baked potatoes, but not on this map. At any rate, we have electric charge, barley, oats, sorghum, wheat, spelt, rye, empty pallets, cardboard, soybeans, and poppies. That's going to be making those outputs. We have grass dryers galore. It's going to take electric charge and grass and make hay. Then we have multiple lettuce greenhouses, water, solid fertilizer, compost, seed, and empty pallets to make lettuce. multiple strawberry greenhouses, same inputs to make strawberries, and then multiple tomato greenhouses to make the same inputs to make tomatoes. We have our ice cream production for our chocolate and strawberry ice cream. We got electric charge, milk, cream, chocolate, sugar, honey, empty pallets, cardboard, and strawberries, or chocolate. We have our chocolatier, electric charge, milk, cream, sugar, empty pallets, and cardboard. We have a lime mine, which is going to require diesel fuel to produce lime. We have Myers Manufacturing, which is going to make popcorn, oatmeal, or potato pancake out of electric charge, corn, empty pallets, salt, sugar, cardboard, oat, potatoes, flour, and eggs. Our oil mill is going to be making sunflower, canola, or olive oil, but we're going to make that a little bit different with electric charge, sunflowers, canolas, or olives, empty pallets, and cardboard. We're also going to get pomace as an output there. Our pallet factory is going to take electric charge and planks to make pallets. Pasta factory is going to make pasta and spaghetti with electric charge, wheat, semolia, flour, eggs, salt, empty pallets, and cardboard. Pizza processing is going to be electric charge, flour, salt, tomatoes, cheese, canola oil, goat cheese, olives, cardboard, and empty pallets to produce pizzas. Potato processing. We have our French fries, mashed potato, and potato chips, but no baked potato. Room for improvement. Always have room for improvement. Electric charge, potatoes, salt, empty pallets, canola oil, cardboard, milk, and sunflower oil. Then we're also going to get pomace as an output there. Our pulp plant is going to be electric charge, wood chips, and corn to make cardboard. We have a refinery, which is going to be making diesel or DEF, and also pomace with electric charge, canola, sunflowers, digestate, and slurry. Salt extraction with energy and sodium chloride, energy is just going to make salt, sodium chloride, or road salt. All we got to do is pump in energy, apparently. Our sawmill is going to take electric charge and wood to make planks and wood chips. Special feed and fermenting agent. We got 2 of those productions. They're going to make silage additive and mineral feed out of electric charge, milk, empty pallets, vitamins, and sodium chloride. Our spinnery is going to take electric charge, wool, cotton, and empty pallets. That is going to produce fabric. We have our sugar mill, which is going to take electric charge, sugar cane, sugar beet cut, sugar beet, empty pallets, and cardboard, and make sugar pomace and or vinegar. And then we round it all out with electric charge and sugar beets to do sugar beet cut. And that is all of the base and custom productions that are built into single player. Now, how does multiplayer differ? There are 10 additional productions that are built into multiplayer. So there are 5 garages with energy generation, 1 at each pre-established farm. And then there are 5 energy storage buildings, once again, at each individual farm. And that is where we come up with 67 total pre-placed productions in multiplayer and 57 pre-placed productions in single player. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. In single player and multiplayer, all of our farms are going to start out with custom MKS 35 tanker that is going to hold several new liquid fill types. We also have the Chrome Profiliner, which has been configured to take several new custom pallet fill types. And the MKS 8 tanker, which again is going to be configured to take several new fill types that are on this map. We also then have the Lintrack 130 and Rigitrack SKE 50 electric small tractor. We have the Dutzfar 8280 TTV medium tractor, the Man TGS 18500 4x4 semi. We have the Fendt Ideal 7T, and paired up with that is the 40-foot Dynaflex 9255 rain header and the Nardi N7040 header trailer. We have a big M450 self-propelled mower, as well as the 2017 pickup truck. We've got the Welger DK115 trailer, the Servo 25 plow, which seems a little comedic on a 4X map with a field as large as 75 hectares, but okay. We have the F240 front mower. Then we have the Podger Alpine Hit 4.4H tedder. the Pottinger Top 342 windrower, and then the Boss Alpine 251 forage wagon, the Impress 125F Pro round baler, as well as the Flegel 3-point hitch 2 round bale transport loader. We have a Q3M front loader arms, and for the front loader, we have a universal bucket and bale spike, and then we round it out with a 750 kilogram front weight. Now, as far as mods and DLCs, this map does include several things that are customized. We've already looked at the MKS, MK35, and Profiliner that all farms are going to get. We also have a custom Silver Star that is set up to take goats as well as chickens. We have the NOAA TTW 140 animal trailer that is also set up for goats and chickens. We have the Panther 2 that is set up for sugar beets, potatoes, red cabbage, white cabbage, carrots, and onions. Then we have a corresponding header for that. We have the Tiger 6S, which is also set up for those root crops, and then a header there. We have the Keeler 2 pull behind that is set up for all of those root crops, as well as the Ventor 4150 potato harvester that is just for potatoes base game, but it has been configured to work with all of these root crops, as well as our Evo 290, our FT 300 topper. We have then the KS75M topper. We have the Grimmy Rexor 6300 Platinum root crop harvester, as well as the Rooster 604 trailed harvester as well. All of those have been configured to accept the new root crops. As we tab down to our starting farm, and this is the first farm in multiplayer as well. Let's go ahead and take a look once again at the PDA. We'll see where we are specifically. We are located right here, again at Farmland ID 62. All of the buildings on this farm can be deleted. As I mentioned in the little segment earlier related to a multiplayer, all of the buildings on all of the multiplayer farms can be deleted. The trick, though, is make sure you own the land, because there are a couple items like the energy storage, which if you try to sell without owning the land, well, it acts like it sells it. It gives you a little bit of money, but the building doesn't actually go away. So it's very important that you actually own the land in order to truly be able to sell all of these items. So we have our farmhouse where we have our sleep trigger. And then this is a very large industrial farm. Lots of open spaces. Lots of room for expansion. Let's go over the railroad tracks here. And then down this way. We have storage for manure. Sorry, fertilizer. We have storage for seed. I'm a little rusty on my German. We have storage for our lime. And now we have diesel storage. And then we have depth storage. We have storage for liquid fertilizer and herbicide. Here we have our fermenter. And the fermenter is going to need to be purchased. While this is on the farmland and we can buy the farmland, we will need to buy the fermenter separate. And then we also have over here our hay dryer. And this again is also going to need to be purchased even if we own the land. Got a little bit of wash bay here. And we'll just double back real fast. And we have a nice little storage shed located up here with maintenance trigger inside. We have an easy shed with solar panels. So this building is likely going to be producing energy for us. Another large shed. As you can see, we have jets flying overhead. Our AGI storage building. We have some of our machinery. We have electric charging station and a methane pump at all these farms. All these farms are basically built out the same. We have a storage board showing us things that are in storage. We have a dump point to put product into the silo from the train. And then we have a corresponding loading point here to load product onto the train from our silo. And then we have a rent train icon right there. And then for our traditional trailers, we have a dump and fill point. We can also get rid of the fence that's here. Here we have another transfer station to transfer product to and from the train directly from a trailer. We have stone heap storage, dump point, and fill point. And this is going to be storing other items, most likely our root crops. Again, very, very rusty on our German there. And then here we have our energy storage. As you can see, we have collected a total of 130 kilowatt hours of energy right now. And then we can send that out. Let's go ahead and take a look at our build mode. And there's a whole lot going on here in the build mode. So we do have some custom buildings that are part of this map. So we have a large shelter. We have our easy shed with energy generation. Right there with the solar panels. Then we have our AGI building. We do have some custom silos. 144 million liters worth of product. Our root crop silo is 40 million liters worth of product. We have feed storage, 24 million liters worth of product. Stone heap storage, 250,000 liters of stone. Then our 4 million liter manure heap. Then we have 4 million liter manure heap extension for the map. We have our depth storage, herbicide tank, liquid fertilizer, and petrol tank storage for our diesel fuel. And then we come up into productions, and there is quite an extensive list of productions because of the fact that we have production revamp, and all of these have been customized for the purpose of generating or requiring electricity amongst all of the other multiple inputs. So all of these productions are going to be able to put down our grass dryer, we have our fermenters, we have our dairy, sugar mill, ice cream production, we have our sugar beet cutter, biomass power plant, fish feed factory, and such. We then also have a custom sell point at the restaurant to accept various custom products. All of our greenhouses, all of them, have been replaced with custom greenhouses. We have the greenhouse large for tomatoes, lettuce, and strawberries. Then we have a medium strawberry greenhouse. Base game orchards that are power generation. We have custom power generation. I would not go and place base game power generation because those don't appear to be configured for our production revamp custom productions. So we have our small solar panel. We have a large panel, and I wish this showed us how much energy we'd be producing as opposed to just that it's going to take sun and make energy. We have our wind plant that's going to take wind and make energy. And then we have our energy storage facility. And in multiplayer, there's one of these at every farm. As far as animals, we do have custom animals with our custom cow barns. It's 15 and 2,000. Our horse facility is 2,000. Sorry. Our horse facility, we have 14 horses. Pigs, we have it set up for 1,080 pigs. Sheep, 650 sheep. Our chicken coop is 1,440 chickens. And then we have a section for goats, 650 goats. We have a few custom decorative elements that are also going to be available. Some signage, as well as some gates and some lights. And then as far as textures go, Not a whole lot of textures, but we do have some custom textures. We have our animal mud. We have our asphalt. Oh, we don't have enough money. Sorry. We have then cobblestones, concrete, dirt, forest ground, grass, dry grass, gravel, rock, granite. And then as far as plants, we've got a fairly standard listing of farm sim plants and farm sim trees as well. Back to the skies and a little bit of a 360 overview. This is an extremely busy and well-packed map. In fact, we didn't even look at the animal areas that are up there, part of the main farm. We will be taking a look at those super quick. This is going to be an extremely long video if we go into the level of detail that we normally do. Now, I don't want to go and be overly brief, right? I don't want to glaze over too much stuff, but again, we can't go super deep into this. But this, I think, is going to be like an ideal, perfect multiplayer map for a group of folks that's really looking to get their teeth and just dive into with some pretty good long-term gameplay, because there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. So we have our pig area up here. We have our, this is going to be our sheep area, I believe. Our goat barn, sorry. So we have goat, lambs, goats, and male goats. We have our straw. We have our grass and hay. We have our goat milk. We have our pigs. (1,080 pigs. So we have piglets, and then German land rants, smaller and larger pigs. Okay. So our food trough. Then we have our slurry point. We have our cows over here. So we have our slurry. This is the feeding robot area. 2,000 cows. We have calves, Holsteins, and bulls. And we have Angus calves, Angus cows, and then more adult cows, Angus bulls. 2,000 of those. We have our milk trigger. We have our food trough inside here, and our straw point if we are applying straw. We have our chicken coop. So we have our egg spawn point. Very large egg spawn point, which should be for the number of eggs, chickens we've got. We have chickens, roosters, ducks, and ducklings. 1,440 of those. Then we have our food drop there for that. And then we have our horses. This is our, sorry, sheep. We have lamb, land rants of Bethlehem, and rams. Our food drop. We have our wool point. And those are the animals here on the starting farm. Let's go to our animal screen and just check and see what the food requirements look like. So for our goats, we're going to be requiring grass or hay. And then we're going to output goat milk, sorry, as well as straw. Our pigs are going to require base food, grain, protein, and root crops. Looks fairly standard there. Our sheep, we're going to be going grass or hay as well. Fairly standard cows, and then our ducks and chickens. Looks fairly standard. Now down below we have multiple sell points in town, and I've got a little idea of how I want to do this without kind of doubling back. Let's go ahead and head down here. The items of interest south of field 31. And again, this is a 4x map, so all the fields are going to be much larger than they appear on the PDA. For example, there we go. Field 31 doesn't look all that big, but there it is. Field 30, it looks like it's got some poppies on it. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what those look like. Oh, sorry, those are red cabbages. Here we have some custom productions. Looks like our carpentry. Our mill. Frizzy Spiz. Our sawmill is below there. All the way down here to the south, below field 52, this would be farm 5 in multiplayer, but in a single player, it's just blank, right? It's just waiting for you to buy it. So if you are looking to kind of do a build your own farm thing, you could start this up in a farm manager, and all the farms are going to be build your own farm. Or you could set this up in New Farmer and then take advantage of one of these other 4 areas that really aren't built out. Now, all of these areas are going to include a grain dryer and a fermenter here. And again, you're going to need to buy these typically. But since we went ahead and bought all of the production items, well, those are already all listed there. We also over here have a rent train trigger at each of the farms, as well as a train transfer area to dump product to and from the train into a trailer down below. So very clearly, with respect to our scoring, the map is going to get a full point with respect to production being built in, because again, we have 57 productions built in at the start in single player and 67 productions built in multiplayer. We have sell point, a couple sell points down here. Now it shows a train, but is this boat? Is this boat rideable? Or is it just using a train spline, and as such, the train icon is still showing up? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking it's doing. There's sell points here at the hotel. We've got a grocery store sell point. We have a fuel point. And then we have our fleet of greenhouses down below here. We have buy all silos for fertilizer, lime, seed, manure, compost. And then selling for herbicide, liquid, and digestate slurry. We still have multiple building zones here all over the place. One of our BGAs. Some more production and sell points. And again, we're going to get to a lot more details specifically on each one of these when we get to our drive around. Trust me, the drive around is going to take a long time. We've got our sell point down there by the river. Coming over to the port. Got a large container ship already in dock here. fuel station, sell points, transfer stations for trailer to train, a train silo transfer here, additional productions, additional sell points. So we have a sell point over here down by the greenhouse, or not by the greenhouse, by the lighthouse, way down here at the extreme southeast corner of the map. Go ahead and make our way up the eastern edge of the map. And as we do so, we can kind of look across and see that, as the description said, it's kind of a steady slope from south to north as it steadily inclines further we go to the north. But overall, the fields are gentle rolling hills. Should be fairly easy on your horsepower requirements as such. Lots of pre-built areas waiting to be built out here. And then this would be another farm area that is waiting for you to build out, or pre-established in multiplayer, again with our dryer and fermenter and our train transfer area. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about this map. Do you wish we'd see more of these maps that are really, really heavy involved on the production? Some more production points. Over here, kind of to the middle of the map, on the eastern side. As we further make our way up north of Field 14, we're going to have another blank farm area that would be a multiplayer farm or buildable area in single player. More fuel depots, a restaurant sell point. This will be the third farm in the multiplayer config. Here we have our poppy. Maybe ever feel the poppies. Need to make our way across. We've got another sell point here in the extreme north of the map. We have another BGA just off in the distance. Production point below. BGA, fuel, more production points. Between fields 4 and 5, we have a train to trailer transfer area. This would be a map where you would be making a lot of use of the train in order to transport products around. There's some sell points down there. We'll get to those again during the drive around portion. Here we have Farm ID 2 in multiplayer. Again, with its fermenter, grass dryer, and train transfer to trailer transfer area pre-placed. We cannot sell the train to trailer transfer area, but we can sell those productions if we own them. They do not come with the land. We have to buy those separate. More production below. A train sell point is also here, or a train transfer into production. Another train to trailer area. We see those quite extensively here. Really cool tunnel. Let's go ahead and make our way through the tunnel. There you go. Who doesn't like to go through a tunnel? More productions. And then this is where we're going to loop back up, because our starting farm is just over there. And we have a whole fleet of stuff here right down the center of the map. And that's where we're going to circle back to our vehicle shop, where we're going to get our Mahindra and start driving around. Get into details on each and all of these productions and sell points. We have our chocolatier over here to the right. And we are just going to dive on down into the gorge, where we have more productions. And man, that is one heck of a bridge up there. A bakery down there. Lots of train yards. Here we have the ability to transfer from train to train. Trailer to train. And then we have our vehicle shop. Let's go ahead and get our Mahindra here. Then right in front, we have our dealer trigger with maintenance, customize, repair, resell, and repaint. Very large area here for vehicles and machinery to spawn in at. You shouldn't have too much issue with respect to buying a whole fleet of stuff, or multiple people buying a whole bunch of stuff in multiplayer. And then getting out of here, road appears to be fairly wide. Let's get on with the drive around. We're going to try to be as brief and quick as possible. There's a whole lot going on here. We've got a fuel point. With an icon here to rent a train. We're going to have lots of those scattered around, because again, the way the map has been set up, it is set up to make extensive use of the train network. So here we have a vehicle workshop trigger, and that's going to be different than the dealer trigger. We have a second dealer. Let's go look. That's interesting. What happens if I do this? Let's see if it spawns around the front. Typically, you can't have more than one dealer trigger. So what type of wizardry do we have going on here? We get some very interesting wizardry going on. just a hop, skip, and a jump from the dealer. We have our animal dealer, complete with a nice yard of animated animals. So we have our animal trigger right there. And now we are located right here. So we have icons for pigs, cows, sheep, chickens, and such. Fertilizer sale, debris crusher, sugar beet cutter, and our confectionery. So with our confectionery, we have our dump point, we have our interactive icon. Looks a lot like the tailor. Our pallet spawn point. Around behind the animal dealer, we have our stone crusher. Then we also have then our lime production here. And that's what this one is. And this is our sugar beet cutter. Sorry. Then we have our stone crusher. Our dump point. For liquid sales and such. Fertilizer sale. Yeah, we'll make our way this way. And we have these a few places on the map. It'll be where we can buy bulk products in manure, compost, lime, digestate, seed, fertilizer, herbicide, liquid fertilizer. We have a building market. So we're going to be able to sell likely our building goods and such. There's one thing that this map does not have a shortage on, and that is sell points. So we have a wood sell point there, logs, a wood sell trigger, and we have a dump point there, sell point. Sell trigger, if you will. We now have our fruit trade middle. We're going to have a refinery up this way, cheese factory, and a compost factory. That's going to be off of the upper section. So that's on the upper section because here we have that big long bridge. Right now we're down here kind of in the valley. We are going to be giving the map a full point with respect to the ability to sell all of the base game crops, production items, and animal outputs. Because in fact, we can also sell all of the platinum expansion items. Now, we don't necessarily give points for the ability to sell those platinum expansion items, but we are going to denote that with a special icon on the thumbnail. We have a refinery, so we're going to make diesel and DEF. We have our output. We have our dump point. And our interactive trigger. We have the rail yard. So we have a dump point. We have a fill trigger here. We have an interactive trigger. So this is going to actually be our fertilizer factory. Then we have our out point for our liquid fertilizer. Then we have output points for the train. Dump points for the train to get into the fertilizer factory as well. And then what we also saw during the drive around was the ability to pull product in and out over here, as well as pull product in and out of the trains. So kind of a train transfer area. We have our sugar mill, or at least what it says is our sugar mill here. Pallet spawn point. This is indeed our sugar mill. We're going to make sugar and vinegar. So I was going to try to not get lost here, but a lot of roads. Man, we got that big bridge way up there too. We have cars observing working railroad or train, not train, but road traffic signals. Here we have our clothing factory. We have our interactive icon around the front. Out spawn point and a dump point around the back. Our spinnery, interactive icon, dump point, and pallet spawn point. And this is going to be our lime mine, no doubt. Yeah. So our lime mine, and if you remember, a lime mine just took diesel and produced lime. Now we're going to double back a little bit because there's some stuff that we have missed. And this area is very heavily populated with icons. So we have our bakery. We have a dump point, interactive icon, and pallet spawn point. I do want to caution a little bit about production revamp. I do not use production revamp. I did a video on it, but I haven't continued to make use of it with any regularity. But it does seem to come up from time to time as conflicting with other mods. So be careful with the mods that you use on this map, because we do have to have production revamp. Production revamp is making some extensive changes to how the production is working. So conceivably any other mod that is making any level of production change could also then ultimately conflict with this map and with production revamp as a result. So here we have some sell points. We have our Bollinger Sports, Delicatessen, and our men's fashion Lawsburg. And again, here we have our starting farm right there. We've already been down this way. So I think at this point we'll be free to double back. A little narrow road there. Kind of a side street. But like I said, this map is making use of extensive scripts, and as such, it's going to be likely PC only for its entire lifespan in FS22, even if we see other maps eventually come to console that are 4X, because this has custom scripts, a lot of custom scripts. I don't see this really making its way to console because Sony and Microsoft are so restrictive in that platform with respect to scripts and such. Let's make our way up out of the valley, the canyon, whatever you want to call it. Long ride up the mountain here, up the hill. Let's just go in. Here we are. We have a fuel point, and this is also going to be a sell point, because again, we have, remember, we produce diesel in def. Make our way across that tall bridge. Our ice cream factory. We have our interactive icon in front, our pallet spawn point, and our dump point around the back. Across the street from the ice cream factory, we have ourselves another production facility. And without looking at the map, we're going to have to jump out real quick. This is going to be the deli salad production. So we have our dump point, our fill point, our pallet spawn point. If there is such a thing, it's going to be around on this side, and our interactive icon was over there. I'm going to avoid that bridge for now. I want to go this way. And maybe we'll loop around the top of the map once we get across this huge area. Our chocolatier, our triggers are going to be in the middle, as they are on Erlengrot, no doubt. So I think we'll just kind of skip over that one. Holy cow! Then we have another tunnel over there. This is a 4MX map. It's going to feel and play a lot bigger because of the way these roads are set up. All right, I think you're going to have to go here, there, and yonder in order to get to a lot of these other areas. We have our compost production, our dump point, our fill point, and our interactive icon. We'll continue to make our way easterly across the map. And then I plan on doubling back across the north. Here we have something I have no idea what's going on here. My best guess, this is a sell point versus production. But I could easily be mistaken. No, this is indeed a sell point. It is the all sell northeast. A little bit down the road, we have loading station 3. We have feed production, oil mill, and our pasta factory. So that is a universal sell point there. Most likely the orange buildings that look like that are going to be those universal sell points, because we've definitely seen those at other areas on the map. Not a lot of traffic. Map feels a little light on traffic. We've run across traffic, but it's very, very sparing. And there's a car. Feel like we might see another car in like 10 minutes. Well, a little less than 10 minutes, but completely different road. There we go. What is this? Yeah, future work. And I gotta brush up on my German. Like I have time for that. So we're done point. We have our fill point. We have our interactive icon, which is again going to be for our feed factory. TMR, pig food, chicken food. Another train to trailer transfer area. Let me know down in the comments below. Are you going to give this map a go? Are you going to give it a go in single player? Are you going to give it a go in multiplayer? If you are going to give it a go in multiplayer, how many people are you going to have on the server? So we have our oil mill, pallet dump point, interactive icon. It's going to be around the back. Oh, actually, it's between these buildings. You got to sneak between the buildings. Get there to the interactive area. Then we have our pasta factory, or noodle factory, interactive icon, dump point, pallet spawn point. Now, one thing I'm not a super fan of is this painted road texture and having it shift from the road texture directly into other things like the bridge and the parking lots and other areas once we get into the buildings. Just feels like it's the road texture just feels a bit dated. Another fuel point. Mama Joe's Diner sell point. And we're making our way up to the empty farm area here in the extreme northeast corner. All the farms are serviced by trains. But, you know, one thing about this map is it's flat but hilly at the same time. Like, I wouldn't really describe this map as being hilly, but it has some fairly significant terrain elevation changes. It's just those elevation changes don't really seem to translate to changes in fields. Right? Overall, the fields kind of have a a subtle downslope from north to south, but outside the fields, there are elevation changes. We have a sell point there, grocery marked. What do you think of the addition of the new crop? The carrots, the onions, the spelt, the white lettuce, the red cabbage. Potato processing. Interactive icon. Pallet spawn point. Dump point around the back. We have our BGA. We have what I'm guessing is another one of those universal sell points. We have our special feed and fermenting agent factory, and that's going to make silage additive and mineral feed. And we own this BGA, yes. And I have not had an opportunity to try this, so let's just see. And we sell it, and it does not go away. Oh, but you know what? I didn't. Yes, I do. I do own the land. I own all the lands. I don't own that land. How do I not own that land? I bought all of the farmlands. Okay, so that was not a very good test. Where's our other BGA at? Right down here. So when we get down here, we need to try to sell that. I owned this farmland. I had to because I bought them all with a script or the command. When I sold the BGA, I think it sold the land, but the building remained. So I don't think we're going to be able to sell the BGA in order to put our own down. A little disappointing there, given the level of detail and attention that this map has clearly been given. We'll make our way around to the area north of field 18. Here we have a second animal dealer. So we have multiple animal dealers. We have one right there. We have another one down here. I think this may be the first map that we've seen, or I've seen, with multiple animal dealers. A restaurant sell point. We have another sell point located right there. And now we're making our way up to the extreme northwest corner, where again we have what would be a multiplayer farm. It's going to be over here to the right. And then we'll make our way down the western edge of the map. So at this point, we've covered the extreme middle of the map, and then we've come across kind of the upper third, east to west. And now we've come across the entirety of the northern part of the map. On their way down the western side. Little old field 15, one of the smallest fields on the map right here. Now down below we've got a couple icons. I think they are going to be corresponding to train all sail west and all sail northwest sell points. Loading station and a rent train icon. We've seen that a little bit. So we've got our dairy down here and then our Fritzy Spiz factory. It's going to be our next point of interest. Might as well jump in cab so we can drive through the tunnel. We even have some lights indicating a green-red on our tunnel. So our dairy. Interactive icon, our dump point, and our pallet point. Pallet spawn point here around the back. Nice use of space, adding additional buildings here, giving you a sense of a larger industrial complex. Next, we have our Frizzy Spiz, our drink factory. Our dump point, interactive icon, and our pallet spawn point. Continuing to the south. We then have our sawmill. Right, so we have our wood sell point, we have our wood buy trigger, we have our pallet spawn point, our interactive icon, we have our wood chip spawn point there. Around the side here, this is going to be our pallet factory. We're going to make empty pallets, so we have interactive icon. Our dump point and our spawn point for pallets. Further to the south, we have then another potential player building farm. I think we're just going to loop back up north. We'll forego driving down there. Overall, it's going to be very, very similar to the other player buildable farms areas that we've already taken a look at. I am fully aware this video is going long, but again, what do you expect on a map with 57 productions built in, with 30 plus sell points, with a custom configuration for multiplayer? So here we have our grain mill, flour, wheat semolia, soy flour, and such. So we have our fill point, dump point, interactive icon, and pallet point. We have an all sell points building located right here. We'll just quickly go over land. to our carpentry interactive icon with sell point interactive trigger there, pallet spawn point. And we'll continue to make our way now across the map again. I think this, for the most part, is going to be just cutting across, and then we're going to try to cut across one final time to far south of the map. We have our starting farm over here to the left. So this is another way we can dive down into the valley. We're coming across here where we had all the animals and such. And we'll climb up out of the valley. Here we have another one of those like feed and fertilizer, special feed and fermenting agent factory. Now we saw up at where the BGA was. Or where the other BGA was. So remember, there's two on the map. I mean, overall, the map is running very smooth. I've had zero sensation that we are losing any frames, dropping any frames. I think this map will play very well on medium spec machinery. We are talking a 4X map, and there is a whole lot going on. And once you start having like 5 or 6 player farms all built out, all with a bunch of machinery and such, you know, that's where your load is really going to start to bog the system down. But here in single player, it is running very, very smooth. Buttery smooth. So back there we passed another player farm. Coming down here to the dock now. And in the dock, we have another one of those universal cell things. Universal cell all points. We even have traffic down here at the dock. We have Selling Harbor. We have our rent a train icon. We have a loading station, gas station, and a selling station for the gas station. We're gonna make our way out of here. Lots of bridges. Really cool road structure. Like I said before, I think this is a map that a group of players could really dig themselves into and potentially spend a couple thousand hours of gameplay on. I don't think I'm going to really mess with going across the river, just because it's going to be a fairly long drive to get back. We have another grocery sell point here along the river. Across the river, we have our pizza processing plant, our cereal factory, salt extraction factory. Remember, all we need to do for salt extraction is energy. Fish farming. Let's just go ahead and jump down here to fish farming. Oh, that is just a very funny icon there. We got our interactive icon, our dump point, our pallet spawn point, and then we have the various kind of fish holding pens. And we might have areas here where, well, that's cool. Spilling water. Might have areas where we're going to expand this in the future and get even more fish. Pizza processing. Dump point, interactive icon, pallet spawn point. And then, of course, our lighthouse restaurant. Let's make our way over to the other BGA and see what happens when we sell that. There is the other BGA right there. So remember, we own all the land. We own the BGA. We're going to confirm we own the land real fast. There we are. We own 71. Let's go ahead now and sell this. And it stays. And we no longer own 71. So we are not going to be able to sell the BGAs. That is pretty confident there. We have our pulp plant, our dump point. Wood cell trigger, pallet spawn point. I kind of had gotten stuck here with the hedge line. Quick, get off the tracks. Another one of the sell point buildings. We have our large greenhouse complex that we saw during the fly around over here, as well as an area to buy a bulk of lime, fertilizer, calc, manure, and such. Another fuel depot and diesel depth sell point around the back. Another grocery store sell point. And this is going to be, I believe, the sell point for this large hotel. Yep, Hotel Basern. Got a couple more: beach hotel, village, holiday village. And that gentleman is going to finish it out. So, the last two scoring metrics. Buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique. I feel that they are indeed using the new texture technique. A lot of these buildings are standard FS22 buildings from Elm Creek, Erlengrot, or Holt Belarun. I feel there's a few maybe new buildings that have been brought in here, but overall the vast majority of these buildings are FS22 buildings using the new technique. And as such, we're going to give the map a full point there. And the player and interactive areas being clearly marked. I have had zero issue in trying to figure out where things might go, where things might spawn. So we're going to give the map a full point there as well, people. That's given this map a score of 5.0 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Perfect score on this map. So much going on. 4X map, multiplayer. It literally has everything we are looking for with respect to Farm Sim 22 gameplay. Does that mean that this is a perfect map for everyone? Oh, heck no. It does not mean that. That means that this is a perfect map with respect to how we score maps and what we look for when scoring maps. And that's pretty much all it means. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you going to give Island Basern a try? Are you going to try it in single player? Are you going to try it in multiplayer? If you are going to try it in multiplayer, how many people are you going to bring into the gameplay with you? And what do you think of maps that are very, very heavy in production? Until next time. Oh, that is so cool. Auto bollards. Happy farming.